I think we are extremely grateful to the German embassy and the DWIH for having thought of this. And it's also a privilege that India happens to be the 5th international destination of the DWIH. I think this itself shows how close our relationship is. Well, Ambassador did talk of a gap, probably talked of a communication gap, again, a technology gap. Communication becomes technology. But I can really assure you, Ambassador, that we have had extremely, extremely close relations with the Federal Republic of Germany. And I, for one, can vouch for it in certain areas of technology, that we have worked very close with your country and with great success and advantage. The explosion of knowledge in the 21st century has brought about seminal changes impacting almost every facet of life on the planet. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to see how can we really move science and technology forward, particularly in the field of food security, energy security, health security. These, I think, are the 3 critical facets of life today. And in all these 3 areas, I, for one, feel that technology has a long way to do. In fact, it was very interesting to see students of the Arabindo School talking in terms of solar energy. I mean, I don't think this exhibition has come a day late to Hyderabad when we are looking at solar energy as an alternate source of energy, because I don't think we have thermal or hydel or gas resources endlessly, and the only thing we have endless is the sun god. And I think we need to look at solar energy, and we'll be extremely happy for a very fruitful cooperation with the Federal Republic of Germany, particularly on the field of solar energy. The human lifespan has increased dramatically, and diseases and epidemics which ravaged mankind are probably a thing of the past. I'm saying probably because there are still some very major ailments in which I think we need to make a both scientific and technological breakthrough. Because these are deadly diseases like the cancer or the tuberculosis or the heart problems, I think, where technology has a long way to go. And I think we'll be extremely happy if we could sort of get technology into seeing so that we're able to extend, not just extend life, but the quality of life. I think what is more important is the quality of life and not just extension of life. And that is where I think science and technology have a great role to play. Similarly, a major factor of strife and conflict centered around food security in our past. Famines and droughts have played havoc with agricultural production. The breakthroughs, particularly in biotechnologies, have dramatically increased the scale and quantum of food production globally. Distributive justice and equity continue to be the challenges as we launch a frontal attack on hunger and malnutrition. The barriers that separated a few privileged from the rest have certainly been brought down with affordability and penetration of technology. I cite the Moore's law, which continues to be valid even today, which has completely transformed the fields of computation, information technology, consumer electronics, and ushered in a new phase of infotainment. Science, on the other hand, is a liberating force. Science has served to demolish ignorance, obscurantism, and insularity by letting the human intellect and spirit soar higher and higher. This era, like every other era, needs more and more engagement with science and pure research. Pursuit of technology, I must caution, is more tempting and, in the end, diverting. But it is not an end in itself. I think what we require is science and research. I am confident that this is a utilitarian platform to kindle the young minds and send themselves on an adventure in the realms of science. It is in here that the future of any country and civilization would lie. Pursuit of science is pursuit of excellence, and in the process, we shed dogma, rhetoric, and ignorance aside, while illumined by knowledge, truth, and beauty. I would really thank the DWIH for taking this initiative, particularly kindling the young minds here. I think people like me, of course, I think of the past. I think as I was just mentioning to Ambassador, when you mentioned to me as a distinguished police officer, I said, I'm not distinguished police officer, but an extinguished police officer. So that is what it is. So that being the case, I think it is a very good idea that you have brought this to the schools, to the school students, and I think we need to take this further. And I think any cooperation between the 2 countries depends largely on the people-to-people cooperation. Science, technology, and this is something which takes you closer because you're going to address problems of the people. And once you start addressing the problems of the common man, I think naturally the love for the other country increases. And this is where I think, Ambassador, you will have a great role to play. And having done what I have seen in the past, when your biodata was being read out, I only said, shorter thing would have been to say, what is it that you have not done? That would have been much simpler. instead of reading that long biodata. I think it's because there's nothing that you have not done, excepting one thing, is to see how you could push Indo-German cooperation in the field of science and technology to the closest possible parameter. That, I think, is a great responsibility, Ambassador, that is being cast on you. And I think I demand this as the governor of Andhra Pradesh, now that you've chosen Hyderabad as a first destination for the DWIH. I think we are really tempted to take this further. I wish you all well, and thank you very much for giving me this great privilege.